There is the truth, and there is the illusion of the truth. Much like winters in Hokkaido, the outsiders have sensationalized the events surrounding my life. They are bitter and grueling. Young Hisashi had seen plenty before the events leading up to his death, more than many see in a lifetime. The difference between a warrior on the battlefront and a warrior cloaked in inconspicuousness is the hidden element of truth never fully exercised by the former. The raw truth of it. What violence and cruelty really is. It hides in the dark, masked by the grandeur of war, and for the soldier, that veil that is honor. Yes, there is sex in the lives of us trained murderers, regardless of our countries or allegiances. There always will be. But the take America gave with its biopic accounts of the combatants was grossly inaccurate. It was the worst kind of sexuality. Deviant, vile, filthy, and most potently, honest. There was nothing truly erotic about any of it. Well, maybe Hollywood would have thought so. And whether it be Ganja or home, there would always be a master.
I see you didn't wait up.
Take the rest of the sake.
We owe your guys a great debt.
And you owe me $780.
Ah, right. Merry Christmas. You killed the bitch too, didn't ya?
Yeah.
Good. And you left a message?
What the fuck else did you pay me for?
Hey now, no reason to get fiery. I've heard about the Scorpion's reputation.
You and who? My legend is hardly the kind to keep the lights on at home.
Well, us, for one. And frankly, I think you deserve pay that's equal to your caliber. This is one of our aides. He seems wildly interested in your services, and we need someone around to keep an eye on him.
What are we talking?
Well, naturally, we'd be compensating you for the undercover shit, but he'd also be paying you for the big bucks to do him some favors.
Looks like the rich type who sends you out for sleaze missions.
Oh, certainly, but not exclusively. Quan is something of a libertine, something he claims he picked up off the island. So if all that's not enough for you, you could also have all the tail you could possibly indulge in.
How many times have I had to tell you? I'm a family man.
Something he claims he picked up off the island. So if all that's not enough for you, you could also have all the tail you could possibly indulge in.
How many times have I had to tell you? I'm a family man. The thing about violence is that it becomes a lifestyle whether you want it to or not. I loved Tanya. She was my wife. I grew up idolizing her from afar. There is no excuse. This part's often glossed over, especially in the De Palma film. That always surprised me. This is the unglamorized truth of the business, and the truth about me. I may be a spirit of revenge, but that doesn't mean I can't go unpunished. For years, I thought that I would get away with my actions. I couldn't have been more wrong. It was an unspoken rule, just as so many are in a violent home. Never strike my face.
was our moneymaker, and an unscathed one showed my employers that I was dependable, that no one would ever have a chance to strike back. Seemed that she was beginning to rebel. I didn't like that. The voider, Kung Lao, would one day tell me that violence begets violence, that it breeds like a horrible pestilence. He's right. He always has been. But I'll never agree that his detachment makes him a pacifist. He's no better than any of us. And then, like clockwork, it was time to go to Quan's.
And who is this supposed to be, Kwan?
You, come, stand before me. You're the scorpion. Looks like you've scared him half to death, sorcerer. Oh, you know good and well he's got a right to be nervous.
True. Very true.
I hear you're frightening, boy. Why, I could even feel your acerbity from here. I felt it before you even made it into the lobby downstairs. You've got quite a soul, Hanzo Hisashi. One I've longed to digest. In person, that is. I'm glad the rumors are true. It's got something of a body, too, eh, Kwan? A bit. A bit. Well, now that we're acquainted, I'm sure you're dying to know the stipulations to our little agreement. If you're wanting me to fuck you, look elsewhere. Oh no. No. Nothing like that. The sensualism of life and death. Your stewardship of materialism's end. That's better than any liaison, you beautiful murderer. You like to talk. Oh, I do know, my boy. As I do have much to say, yet you seem to grow restless. Very well. We have only just met, after all. The stipulations, Scorpion, are quite simple.
Do those even do anything for you anymore?
Less and less. What do you want, princess?
Aren't you the least bit interested to know why I spared you from public fatality?
Not really. But if I had to guess, it was some sort of pacifist statement. You trying to piss Daddy off, maybe?
No, Hisashi. I passed it over because I have a far greater punishment lined up for you.
Whatever you think.
It can't be. I'm not permitted to be punished for my sins. I won't die anymore. Not really. And every day I feel pain less and less. The murdering of Sub-Zero has symbolically sealed my fate. And now that I'm avenged, the ritual is complete. I am a revenant. The greatest punishment of all, my lady, goes beyond my lost family, beyond mine and Quan Chi's arrangement. The greatest punishment there is that I cannot be punished.
That's what you think.
I'm becoming an avatar of revenge, Katana. It's in my nature to administer justice, but let's be honest, I'm also evil. It's a total paradox, and yet my death and resurrection under Quan's bondage somehow perverts my new purpose into something sadistically logical. First and foremost is servitude to my sorcerer, who is a being far worse than me, mind you. By continuing to commit crimes for him, they talk on a macro about balancing the Furies, but on a micro, it's all these backwards and contradictory curses the Elder Gods allow to exist and make things devilish. A tournament can save a realm, sure, but how many dark transgressions, a little at a time, will send all of reality back into delirium? I dream of murdering myself every second. I can't, and that agony fuels him. You couldn't write a more miserable plot in one of your novels if you tried.
I don't need to write any sort of miserable plot out for you, Hanzo, because you're about to experience a real one.
What kind of trick are you pulling?
No trickery, just a one-time free entry into my newly emancipated Mother Kingdom. As of the last 40 years, Edenia is officially an independent province from the Outworld.
What does that matter to me?
Our ambassador would like a word with you.
This better be as painful as you say.
Hasashi. It's really me.
How are you alive?
I never died, Hanzo.
That's what...
You think I ever would have risked clocking you that night if I hadn't have known for a fact that I was going to be free soon? I was in on it. Everything from the very start. I'm a pawn in your contract with Quan.
You whore!
You can't touch me. You can't touch me because the very laws of your being won't let you. You must always follow your pact with your sorcerer, even if it goes against every tendency, every instinct. And my part in Quan's scheme makes me synonymous with this law. His plans were to keep me free from you forever, and so here I'll be, free from every punch, every kick, every slap. We knew so little, Hanzo. You always called us Shirai Ryu a pack of mangy dogs, unfit for our shinobi title. We were fools. Our blood comes directly from the source. Here, Edenia. We have Edenian blood. When you were running from the PRC, you never had to flee back to Hokkaido. You could have come here. Our great-grandfather was the spawn of a chambermaid and an Edenian merchant. By their legislation, with the proper paperwork and connections, we could have escaped the entire realm scot-free.
So you left me?
And Quan got me everything I needed to get into this position. All I had to do was be sure that you were delivered to him. Then he helped fake our deaths, got me here through a portal known only to sorcerers and deities, and the rest is history. I had the princess bring you here as a favor. She also tends to have a penchant for justice, so that helped to persuade her. This is your punishment, Hanzo Hasashi, that I escaped and you didn't.
What about Jubei? Where is he, Tanya? Where's my son?
vengeance had been hers.
You say that love is it, all of it, a bunch of shit. I'll ruin everything. Peace of mind or a ring. What makes me angry just makes you sad. This should be easier. Maybe if I could hear.
Hey guys, if you have made it here, welcome to the bonus features of Scorpion Parts 1 through 3 for this sort of, for lack of a better term, countdown with a K to Kombatober 2026 proper. These are some bios that I was gonna post, but they were either too small or too blurry, and rereading them, there are some minor continuity errors, so I'm going to read them out, and if there's anything in there that is incorrect, I will correct myself. And do not worry, fingers crossed, I have the perfect person to narrate a lot of exposition stuff coming up for this project, and if you're like me and are so tired of hearing my voice, hopefully it'll be a fresh start. But anyhow, in the late 80s, Hanzo Hasashi, a Shiraryu hitman, fled to his birthplace, Hokkaido, in order to avoid any PRC complications out of Hong Kong. His clan already mistreated Hasashi for having Japanese heritage, and it was only through continually proving his worth over a decade of successful visceral contracts that they showed him any form of respect. So his fleeing from the country did little to bother them. His wife, Hanzo Tanya, was his second cousin and of purer Shiraryu blood than Hasashi. Hasashi didn't care one way or another whether she wanted to leave China or not, but for some peculiar reason she didn't even seem to put up a fight about it, so that was one less annoyance for him to have to extinguish. Their son, Jubei, was too young to take the change too terribly, and besides, he didn't have any friends in Guangzhou in the first place. So this below here is actually directly copped from the Deadly Alliance bio info stuff on that character select. And I know the goal here is to make this stuff as accurate to the original canon as possible. So I will tell you what I added and changed and what I didn't. In Deadly Alliance, which would take place many years after this in the 2000s, so I don't necessarily feel bad about, his alignment shifting and what he fights with changing. The only thing that is completely incorrect to canon is the 5'11" height, but that is how I drew him. And 6'2" just doesn't seem fucking right, and that's what it said in Deadly Alliance. I don't know that I can get behind that, especially for this version of Scorpion. So even though that's a glaring technical continuity error, I'm sure we can look past it. In 1991, a few years after Hanzo's migration, through newfound Yakuza connections, Hasashi had fallen under the employ of the enigmatic and insidious financier Quan Chi in a somewhat desperate bid to make the big bucks. Unbeknownst to him, through his successful work as Quan's beautiful murderer, Hasashi's soul was becoming forever bound in a pact with the secret devil. And then here it is, the origin, arguably, of this entire project. This Scorpion ending being so different than the Scorpion story that we're used to. I mean, just look at him without a mask, just the whole thing. Marked for death years ago by the Lin Kuei, Scorpion was murdered by Sub-Zero. He left behind a wife and child in his former life, but was allowed to return and avenge his death. Implying that his wife and child are not dead, and that is truly what made me begin this entire project, was that continuity question mark. And then I started to think about other endings and their insanity and how I could work them in, and so on and so forth. But in the ordering of this timeline, this slide is, in the right place. Largely incapable of exacting the revenge his new specter form required for sustenance, and incapable of committing any impulsive acts outside of the purview of Quan's dark contractual curse, the Scorpion was stuck in a limbo he thought worse than hell. He couldn't harm the sinful who served under Quan's allegiance, and as such he couldn't harm himself either. In this state, one that exacerbated his rage in a way that was euphoric for the degenerate sorcerer, Hasashi was a perfect candidate to participate in Earthrealm's 10th Mortal Kombat tournament. There were many other highly ritualistic plans in place for Hasashi behind closed doors, but they aren't pertinent here. Dun dun dun! More later on that one. Ah, yes, glaring continuity error. Quan scheming on the top floor of a Tokyo high-rise. Where in the script I wrote that, his penthouse was in Tokyo, I fudged it because in the animatic itself, it should show the time elapsed between him going and the whole wife beater progression to Quan Chi's, and he was supposed to travel from Hokkaido to Tokyo, but it looks like he's in Hokkaido and he just fucking walks to Tokyo in a matter of minutes. Obviously that's impossible. That was a continuity error. Hanzo Tanya, once Buen Tanya, married Hasashi as a way to escape her highly manipulative parents and as a way to spite them. He wasn't a catch societally in any regard, which she adored, but he also seemed to care for her deeply, which she admired even more. Hasashi first laid hands on her in 1982, a few years into the marriage, and in a year's time, Jubei was born. Her greatest mistake. Jubei watched his father inflict violence on his mother for the first 8 years of his life, and though he'd gotten used to it, some nights were still worse than others. Interestingly, Hasashi never felt the inclination to attack his son more than a handful of times. So I sort of guesstimated Tanya's weight and height because we don't know it, and, neutral as an alignment is really subjective, depending on how you feel about what she did and what she does and how she did it. She doesn't know Paigi in the games, but I figured if, Scorpion was her boy for a while, she might have learned a little bit of it. 9mm is always good, and if you are a big fan of the Millennium Trilogy, we all know from Elizabeth Salander that a high-voltage stun gun does a great job. The other games, I forget what the name of the things that she has are in Deception, but she has a fucking boomerang in MK4, and that was just too doofy, so... yeah. Last one. 2 years after Jubei's birth, Tanya did some digging into her family history, and in doing so met the wealthy Chinese socialite Quan Chi. Quan had a big interest in genealogy, and her bloodline in particular. After a few nights of lying guffaws and tribulations, Tanya learned through him the truth of the realms, his personage, and her Shirai heritage. This was wrong. Her great-grandfather was actually the son of an Edenian merchant, and an Earthrealm chambermaid. I totally fudged that, so ignore that. And as such, with proper paperwork, she was eligible to enter the realm as a bona fide citizen. So it isn't really a realm yet. I fucked that up too. It's implied that there was this long, brutal civil war between Outworld and what used to be Adenia before they absorbed it. And now it's become its own province, but currently it's not its own realm. It will be, I think, by MK4 in the timeline, but as of now, it's just a sort of separate institution to Outworld as a whole. So yeah, realm is not the right word there. With the Oni Necromancer at her side, she could be placed into any high society rung in post-Sindo Deliad. I came up with that city name, or town name, or whatever. There were just a few things she needed to do for the demon first. And there's Katana. I'm pretty proud of her new design, and as you can see, there's some different things to it. While her reddish hair is not canon at all, I'm going to say that it is a matter of lighting that you can see it. So usually it looks black, but it can look red depending on where you're looking at her from. And I'm going to get way more in depth with her soon. But back to Tanya. Once she escaped her husband and had given Jubei over to the Brotherhood of Shadow, Tanya had found herself in a cushy ambassadorial position in the Adenian Extraspatial Embassy. She had everything she wanted and even became good friends with the mercurial but entertaining Princess Katana, who had taken an interest in the emancipated realm for many years upon learning it to be her blood right. Again, yes, it's emancipated, no, not a completely separate realm yet. But there is still something missing. Revenge. She spoke to the princess in private about her situation, omitting any mention of her part in Quan Chi's schemes or her son. Knowing that her first participation in a Mortal Kombat tournament for Outworld would be coming very soon, and asked if she could get Hisashi into her presence one last time while she was there. Only aware that magical means kept her husband from harming her, she willingly agreed, given her proclivity for justice, and ultimately performed the first Mercy in a Mortal Kombat tournament for centuries, solely to have the opportunity to send the Spectre to Adenia rather than kill him by fatality. She never heard much about the results of this harebrained scheme, only that Tanya reported to be happy and that Scorpion had allegedly gotten his comeuppance. Okay, and obviously when I read this, we know that Scorpion did not win the tournament, and he is not the Grand Champion. Even the Scorpion's triumph in the tournament, Utah's Grand Champion, right? But the price he paid was high. He can never again know his family and must exist forever with his secret curse. That is what I went for sure. So yeah, there's a little bit of extra lore for you that, wasn't all fully mentioned in the animatics. And I hope that you keep on following this project because there's so much more to come. Currently working on the Cabal series as well as some Katana ones. And if you've made it all the way here, I'll even spell out what I got going. After Cabal and Katana, I am either going to do a Kung Lao one-shot story, and just one, episode of something. Or go straight into Johnny Cage, which I think will be anywhere from 4 to 6 parts. And that's pretty much following his entrance into the Outworld for the MK2 tournament. And how it's portrayed through this lens of the story. And if I didn't do Kung Lao before that, it would probably come after Johnny Cage. There is one more surprise, classic MK question mark, animatic. And then it will come to Kombatober 2026 itself, which is a very special, different project that will be the culmination of all of these little character-driven animatics. In a way, it's kind of like, the introduction of all these characters in a Enter the Dragon or Mortal Kombat, the movie kind of way, and the big Kombatober 2026 deal is kind of like them all getting on the boat together for the first time and really interacting for the big plot. But yeah, there you go. There's extra lore dump for the bonus features here, and just stay tuned. Next one I'm going to bind together like this is Cabal. More than likely. Either him or Katana. So, thank you for everything, and have a great night.